Hi guys, welcome to Regression Testing Essentials. My name is Dan Wellman, and over this course of tutorials we'll cover everything you need to know in order to rock at regression testing. Whether a tester or developer or a cross-functional ninja, this course will give you an in-depth tour of the wonderful world of regression testing. Today we're going to look at the fundamentals, like what regression testing actually is. Regression testing is defined as the rerunning of previously completed successful tests of an application's functionality to ensure that working features of an application have not been broken by recent changes to its codebase. However, regression tests are not a special form of test that must be carried out in a certain way or at a certain phase in the application's development, and instead is a slightly fuzzy term that encompasses a range of different types of testing. Smoke tests and unit tests can both be considered regression tests, and we'll look at both of these two types of testing in more detail very soon. Unit tests are typically carried out by the developers actually working on the application's codebase as a quick sanity check that they haven't just broken the application with their latest changes. Developers may also perform other types of regression testing too, such as smoke testing if working on a small application or they are part of a small team, or just because that's how their company functions. Functional tests are again usually carried out by the developers working on an application, or by a dedicated test team. It tests either the individual components or the system as a whole functions in the way that the development team expects. Does it work? Does the UI look like it should do? Does the application crash when certain actions are performed sequentially? Does it handle errors acceptably? These are the kinds of questions that functional testing sets out to answer. Acceptance tests tests not that the application is bug-free, that it doesn't crash or that the UI looks as it should, but that the software performs according to its specification. If an application has certain features, acceptance tests verify that these features work in the way that they are expected to. This is not stress testing. It's using the application in expected conditions and supplying expected input as the application would be used in the real world by real users. Often, but certainly not always, acceptance testing is carried out by real users who verify that the software meets their expectations and fulfills the need the software was created to fulfill. Where acceptance testing is carried out by real users and not developers, it may be termed UAT, user acceptance testing. UATs may be specified during planning for software development cycles, such as a sprint in an agile culture. Work items may have UATs specified as part of the item, such as UAT 1. User must be able to open a file and edit it. UAT 2. User must be able to save a file that has been edited. The work item can therefore not be considered complete until these UAT criteria are met. All of these subtly different forms of testing come together to form the foundation of regression testing. Regression testing is essential before any kind of release if you're going to have a high degree of confidence that what you're about to release actually works. Some regression tests may begin as functional tests that are written to test an application's functionality based on the specifications that were laid down during the application's planning and design. These are then combined with bug testing cases to form the main suite of test cases that are rerun as regression tests. This testing verifies that the application still works as intended. In the enterprise, or where the application being developed is of a considerable size or complexity, and when there may be teams of developers working on the code, some aspects of regression testing may be carried out by a specialist test team of quality assurance engineers. Regression tests may be manual or automated, with the preference of course being on automated. This automation reduces the time spent running the tests, eliminates human error, provided the automation is programmed correctly, and can be scheduled to be run at optimum times. Individual regression tests may be organized into test suites and managed using one of a range of different tools, again which we'll look at later in the course. Usually all features of an application have one or more test cases associated with them, but in addition to this, error and boundary conditions, uncommon but still valid use case scenarios, and bugs that have occurred in the application's history may also all have test cases associated with them. Regression testing can therefore become time-consuming and costly as the application, and therefore its codebase, grows in size. The art is in managing these test cases, as we shall see later on. So in this lesson we looked at what regression testing actually consists of, the different times it can be carried out, and the different ways in which it can be carried out. In the next lesson we'll take a look at unit tests as part of a regression testing solution. Thanks for watching.